for today's video, we're going to be unloading a kiln, and then at the end I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a recap in studio with studio lighting so you can see everything a little bit better. For those of you who've already subscribed to my channel, I am very grateful and thank you so much. I really want to put out content that is of interest to you, so please, again, shoot me a comment, let me know, some things that you would like to help me, again, put together stuff that will be of interest to you. Hello fellow potters, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a kiln unloading. I fired this yesterday and I don't know, I think I may have had a bit of some issues. This is an older model kiln. This is a 1961 Kiln Sitter kiln, and something you have to flick switches and gauges and turn dials and so forth in order to fire it. And it is shut off, not electronically, but it is triggered from what we call, let me get one actually, a cone. So these little pyrometric cones, these little bars. Here. This is a little pyrometric bar, and this is put into the Kiln Sitter, which is the mechanism, and when it melts, when it reaches temperature, it's designed to trigger the kiln to shut off. Well, that didn't happen yesterday. Kept coming out and checking, kept coming out and checking, kept coming out and checking, and I was like, what's going on? So there is a timer, which is a backup, a fail-safe. I had set it for 10 hours because typically my glaze firing is about 10 hours of actual fire time and then another 12 hours of cool down time. So I really don't know what's going on inside here. It actually was jammed. It had shut off by the timer, but the actual Kiln Sitter was jammed, and so I'm not really sure what's going on in here. Anyways, let's do it together. So these are the switches that turn it on and off, and this is the timer. You actually need the timer on in order to even turn it on, but it's the fail-safe, and it will just time down depending on how many hours you set it for. And what's supposed to happen is, you can see this right now is jammed. I had to pry this out, but normally this component sits on top of this component, and when on the inside, when that little bar melts, it makes this drop, and you hear that sound and you know your firing is over. It shuts the kiln off. Like I said, that didn't happen, so I don't know what's happening inside my kiln. I gotta figure this out because I've got more things I need to fire. All right, let's open it up. It's a beautiful, oh, okay. It's a beautiful summer day today. Got the garage wide open. My kiln is in my garage. So, all right, well. So these are witness cones. So even though it didn't trigger off, I'm not sure what happened here. This is okay, so these are called cones, and they are designed to melt at different temperatures. You put your actual cone, you have your guard cone, and your witness cone. And so this is going to be the higher temperature. This is the actual temperature you want your firing to go off at, and this should have, in theory, should have completely melted down. So this is cone 5, cone 6, cone 7, and it didn't even get to cone 5 on the top shelf. So that's interesting. Oh boy, I might have got some nice runs out of this, but that looks actually pretty nice. This is just 4 coats of sapphire float. I just went simple. The 4 coats of sapphire float. I was hoping to get a few drips, and it looks like it was just welling up here a little bit, but that's a nice blue on its own. That's actually quite pretty, and it's on a speckle clay. This is Pottery Supply House speckle clay. I'm happy with that. This was just something I tried out. Sorry, people are passing by my garage. Sorry, That's kind of, I think that was just winter wood. It was just a, I don't know, it's okay. It's okay. Just tried that out. That's just a little garden, illuminary. This is a great way to test out some things too, some glazes. This is just, I just made a few of these spoon rusts. I think this was textured turquoise and, I have to look that up. I think it was textured turquoise and oatmeal, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'll put it in on the video. But that's a pretty color. My kiln is super small, so it doesn't hold a lot. And I do, oh, okay. Oh yeah, yes, yes. Oh, okay, I'm happy. Okay. So this shelf, you can see from my cones, this one melted more. So that's the cone 5, cone 6, cone 7. You can see that almost made. You want this to be what they call it at a 90 degree angle, meaning it either comes and touches or it's just a little bit elevated. So this shelf nearly got to cone 6. It definitely got to cone 5, and it's probably like a 5.5, 5 3/4 firing. So this is a better shelf. But oh my goodness, this is really pretty. Okay, first things first. Oh my gosh, look at this bowl. Look at this bowl. Can we say fruit salad, anybody? Oh my goodness, that turned out absolutely spectacular. And again, this is Pottery Supply House. This is their clay body, and I believe this is Sunset Pink with Archie's base. One of my favorite. I've not done it on a bowl before. I've done it only on cups, and oh my god, that is a winner for me. Love that. Love that. All right, I made butter keepers. I'd never done that before, and so this is my first time firing. Uh-oh. Oh, I'll have to sand that, but that's okay. That turned out okay. I'll have to sand that off. See, it dripped on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. It dripped on the inside. I guess I brought the glaze down a little too far, so I'm going to have to sand that. Same thing there. Oh, but that is lovely. And I want to say this one, because, okay, so this was one of my tried, tested, and true glaze combos. However, it's a potter's choice. However, they changed one of the glazes on me. So what happened, I actually called them and asked them, oh, I like this, and I like it on this clay. Oh, this is Laguna clay, number 70. I'll have to see what the new code is, but that is so pretty. Look at that. That is lovely. Let me see if it still fits. Cross your fingers, ladies and gents. Oh, it does. Okay. That's gonna be my little my French butter keeper. Very, very cool. But okay, so back to the glaze. This is Pottery, Potter's Choice, and it was one of my favorite glaze combos, but they changed the dark green. So this is actually 2 coats of lustrous jade followed by 2 coats of dark green. But one of the 2 coats is the old dark green, and one of the 2 coats is the new dark green. I discovered while I was glazing this, because I had to open up a new dark green for my final coat, and I noticed it had a different color than the previous dark green. So I actually called them because I thought, well, maybe it was mislabeled. Anyways, the gentleman I spoke to, I don't remember his name, he confirmed that they changed the formula. So this is still not a true representation of what this combo is going to look like, because I'll never be able to create this again, because there's an old green, dark green, and a new dark green. But I do like it. That is so pretty, and I love it with this. I'm waiting to get some more of this clay. I've ordered it. I'm in love with this clay. I think that is spot on. Okay, these, no, they didn't melt over. Okay, these are gorgeous. These were, and I haven't edited the video yet, but I had another kiln opening that had a failure and I need to put that out. And because of that failure, I ended up washing off the glaze off of 3 like tall cups and starting again, because I thought I didn't want them to do what happened to the other 3. And I'm so glad I did. These are, in my opinion, absolutely stunning. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. Oh my gosh. How nice is that? I should go this way, right? How nice are those? Oh, I love it. And that was my first go with this glaze. This is Sea and Sand. I think that's right. Sea and Sand, Mayco on the inside. This is Winterwood with, which is also Mayco. And then this here is Archie's Base, which is a Coyote glaze, which makes this ooey gooey runny stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm in love. Okay, I have to do a photo shoot later today with some of this. I only have 3 of these. Ooh, look at that. See, that just went right off the edge, but I can sand that. What I've been doing, you would have seen me using these little guys. So these are some sort of, they're like drip catchers. And you put your pot on there and then the glaze has a place to pool. Well, I've run out of clean ones. I need to throw some new ones. Okay. I don't know. But I ordered a whole lot of these little guys, the little 1-inch, or sorry, 1/2 inch kiln supports, and they're perfect because they've been raising up my pot. So like for instance, this guy, it was sitting on that, so it had clearance. And now I can just sand it. So that, I'm okay with doing that. But I will throw some more drip catchers, because if you have a pot or a larger bowl and it may drip, you don't want, you know, that's just going to raise it. It's not going to necessarily catch it. Okay, so that was it for that shelf. And we got the last shelf. Now I'm wondering, okay, so I'm going to adjust the camera for a second so that you can see what I see inside the kiln. Because I'm sure I did something wrong here. So let me bring the camera over and see if I can get a better angle for you. So let's just see if I can. Okay. All right. So this here, let me just, this thing here, oops. See, this is the little cone. This is the cone that, let's get this to, come on, there. This is the cone, and this should be bent into a complete U. It is the mechanism, you can see here, it's the mechanism. It sits conveniently underneath these 2 pins, and then this. This guy is what's attached to the outside piece. So I think this got stuck, and that's why it's called a Kiln Sitter. It may have, oh, see that? It flaked off there. You always put a little bit of, kiln wash on here to prevent this from sticking. But maybe my kiln wash wasn't dry enough when I put my Kiln Sitter in. So what I'm going to do is when I finish unloading this, I'm going to actually clean this all off. I'm going to sand the little lever, and I'm going to put kiln wash on here and let it dry completely, and then hopefully that will avert this from happening, because that's 2 times I had a kiln kind of mess up. All right, you're going to see this when I see this now. Okay, let me get even a better angle for you. Come out. You're going to see this shelf. Crossing fingers. Okay. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Ew. Oh, that is ugly. That did not turn out the way I expected at all. Again, look at not hot enough. Look at that. So only my middle shelf. That just fell in there. Oh well, just not what I expected. I like it on the outside. See, I like it on the outside. The inside is kind of meh. Okay, and I'm going to adjust my camera. I've done that before where I don't adjust the camera, I forget. But you know, with this kiln, I got it for free. So that's why I learned on it. I'm learning on this, and one day I'll be able to afford to buy a nice electronic and a much bigger kiln so they don't have to have such little itty bitty kiln loads or run it as frequently. But as it stands, like I said, you know, you can find these online. People are, you know, they sell them off cheaper. I got this free. One of my father's friends had this up at their cottage. She had intended on taking up pottery, and it just never fully came to life. And I guess my father, I don't know, they were talking, and lo and behold, they offered to give it to me. I was so grateful. We rushed over there. Literally, it's the other, you know, it's about a good 100 kilometers away from where I live. Ran over there, got the kiln, brought it home. I had no idea how to use it, anything. I had to do a lot of research because it's so old, and I figured out through the research how to figure out how old it is. Had an electrician come and install it properly. It is hardwired in. You had to bring that was the costly part, is when you're getting a kiln, you have to think about where you're going to put it, and mine is in my garage. But I had it hardwired in by an electrician. He looked it over, and everything was good. I had permits pulled, all that stuff. So I feel good and okay running my kiln. It's just, like I said, I would love to be able to beep, 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 press buttons and have it do its thing. But until then, one day, it's on my wish list. Okay, so see, I like this on the outside a lot. I don't like it on the inside as much. I think if I were to do that again, I would do it on the outside and do maybe just on the rim on the inside. But what do you think? I wonder if it would have looked different, if it would have run more, had it, maybe I'll refire it. I'm going to probably refire this because that bottom shelf did not get as hot. This is a different clay. This one is, this is Laguna's clay. And I think it's WC608. I think something like that. It's got heavily speckled, which I quite like. But I'm going to refire this. I like that, but I'm going to refire this. Okay, so that's going to go in my refire pile. This was okay, that's interesting. This was kind of a test I was experimenting with on my newer mug shape. Oopsie. On the newer mug shape. I was hoping it would run a bit more. And maybe again it would have had it fired a little hotter. So maybe I'll refire this one too, just to see kind of what happens here. This was blue rutile on its own on the bottom, and this was lustrous jade and dark green on the top. And lustrous jade and dark green on the inside. So that's kind of neat. So it's even showing a little bit of the clay in the middle. I like that. It glazed up nicely. Nice big mug. I quite like this shape. It feels comfortable too. All right, that was kind of a test. And then this was also a test. Oh, it did work out. Okay, good. Okay, so this is, it did come out quite nicely. So this is lustrous jade and dark green, but on this dark clay. Got to sand the bottom there. This is Pottery Supply House. They're dark brown clay. Or black clay. It's called black clay, but it's really just really a rich chocolate brown. So nice. I like the way it speckles on this clay. I don't know what, it's just so pretty. I really like that. That actually worked out quite nicely. So I'll do more in this combo. And I might refire just to see if I can get this darker, because it's usually a darker color than this, and I'm thinking it might need a little more maturity, but I really like that glaze combo. Clay matters. It's amazing how the top of this is the same combo as this. Okay, white clay, dark clay. Inside is the same clay, is the same glaze. Dark clay, light clay. All right, another butter keeper I made. Okay. Oh, it's split. We had to wait till the last firing to crack. Look at that, right in there. Right at the curve there. I don't know if that would have, look, it's really bumpy. I'm thinking again, it just didn't fire hot enough. Well, that's disappointing. That's a better fit than the other one, but it just didn't. So this is frosted lemon over winterwood. So winterwood all over the outside, up to there on the, and then frosted lemon on top. Only frosted lemon in there, but I did frosted lemon and the winterwood in here. So frosted lemon on the inside. I should have maybe done another coat of frosted lemon there. Probably didn't track my coats well enough. Or I know I didn't put a lot because I was worried it might run off. Okay, so what I want to do is do a quick recap and some close-ups, because some of you did request that I do some close-ups and to kind of do a little more of a freeze frame on the pieces, so I guess you get a better view, and so I'm going to do that right now. So let's start with that blue one. Look at this color. Look at that color of blue. It is so stunning. I love the little, variations in the glaze itself. And this was just 4 coats of sapphire float, Potter's Choice sapphire float, on a light buff speckled clay. This particular clay body comes from Pottery Supply House, and is out of Oakville, and Oakville, Ontario, but so pretty. I'm always layering, so I seldom just do one glaze, and that, I'm impressed. All right, so that was on the top shelf. Here's another one of, that was one of my favorites and one of my tried, tested, and true glaze combos. This is lustrous jade, 2 coats with 2 coats of dark green on top, and it gives this very interesting speckly kind of fun texture, and it does that on the darker clay. Now, like I said, this one, remember, it didn't fire quite as dark. Actually, you know what, I have an example of this same clay body. So this is an example. Try to get this thing going here. So this came out of the kiln. This is the Pottery Supply House. It's called Black Clay. It's number 540I, and it fires just to a really dark brown. This, remember, the shelf under fired a bit. This is that same clay body, okay, and glaze combo. Got a little bit of stuff on. So this is that same, oh, I got some clay on there. This is the same clay body. So this is the dark or the black clay from Pottery Supply House, and this is lustrous jade with the dark green on top. So I'm going to refire this piece. You can see, right? Quite a difference in the finishing color. So this, I don't think it got mature enough, and I'm curious if I'll get this same more intense sort of spotting of the glaze. I just love this. So wish me luck. I will refire this. All right. In love with this. I know you heard me in my garage how excited I was with it. So I'm going to get some more of this particular clay body. This is a Laguna clay, and love it. Just that brown sea and sand, really, right? This is gorgeous. So this also is lustrous jade and dark green. But I had the one coat of the newer dark green on top of the older dark green. So I won't be able to do this exactly, but hopefully it will replicate similar with the 2 coats of the new dark green, but I'll let you know that. So that's it on the inside. So you can see the lustrous jade, the dark green, the way it kind of interacts with the clay. Oh, I just think that is gorgeous. And that's the lid that I'm going to have to sand down the little bumps here, because it flowed a little bit too much on the inside. So, and that's what stuck to my little cookies there. So I'm going to have to get that on my grinding wheel and sand it down, but I'm in love with that glaze. Okay, so that's that one. Now, these. Oh, I was so excited by these. So I had never done this particular, well, I've done this combo before, and but I hadn't done with the green here. So this is Mayco's. Why am I so dark? Anyways, this is Mayco's Sea and Sand on the inside. I did 3 coats of that on the inside. That's all that's in there. On the outside, it was Winterwood over the whole body, and then I did a band of the Archie's base, which gave it this really lovely melty ice cream look. It still remained pretty matte. This shelf in the kiln fired just under cone 6, so I'm going to say that's fair. Got a few, these little bubbles may have evened out if it had got up to the proper cone 6, but the inside of the pot is perfectly smooth. But I absolutely am tickled pink with this one, so I do have to sand that little bit off of that one. But how pretty are they, eh? I was so pleased with these. So I've got 3 of this particular one. And then, of course, the new mug that I'm trying out, a new shape. And then I wanted to just test glaze it before I went and did more. So this is Blue Rutile, so Potter's Choice Blue Rutile. I did 2 coats on the bottom. And on the top, this is Lustrous Jade and Dark Green. Did a lot of Lustrous Jade Dark Green. And you can see the finish. But how different it looks on a white clay body versus a darker clay body. Same exact glaze layering, different clay bodies. So if you didn't realize that, it really does matter. The clay body, do your testing so that you don't end up coming out with something that you're very upset about, because trust me, it's happened. So this too was Lustrous Jade and Dark Green. I was doing a lot of that, as you can see, and I was experimenting a little bit, putting it on different clay bodies just to see what I thought of it, but quite pretty, and these are useful, and they're, like I said, a great way to test out different clays and then still find it, you know, usable. This was the one that I was like, yuck, because I didn't expect it to look like this. I'm going to show you what I had anticipated. That was the look I thought I was going to get. This is what I got. So that's why I was originally just very disappointed. It hasn't, you know, there's no open, you know, so I'm sure it's still, but it didn't fire to the temperature. Remember this shelf, it didn't even get to cone 5. Cone 5, the cone was just barely bending. So I think I'm going to, and I said I'm going to refire this, but it's interesting. So this was light sepia and texture turquoise. And that on this very speckly clay, this is a Laguna clay, very speckly, that has everything to do with it. And maybe because this is a different clay body, that was the results I was going to get. I'm not sure. I'm going to refire and see if it was just more of a temperature thing or if it was a glazing issue combo with the actual clay body. So that's those. So now you got to see what I was expecting and why I went yuck. And then of course this one too is on that bottom shelf. It's another one of my butter keepers that it didn't fire well. Like it's just, I mean, it feels neat. It's very rough. This is the Winterwood with the frosted lemon, and this usually melts like crazy. So that's why I don't think this got up hot enough, and I may have got more running with this. So, and then of course I got a crack in the bottom. So I was a little bit disappointed, but that is the frosted lemon, which, like I said, has quickly become one of my favorite glazes. So I am going to try refiring it for the purpose of learning, even though this piece is already cracked. And we'll see what happens if I can get it up to the right temperature to get the proper heat work. And again, that can also skew everything. When you refire things, you're not guaranteed, that you're going to get the results you think. I've refired things and been kicking myself and wishing I hadn't refired it in the first place. So that can happen. So you got to go in with your eyes open that you might be disappointed. And then, of course, this guy. That was my... So this was just winter wood on a luminary for out in the yard. It'll be nice with a candle in there flickering away. Well, I cannot believe I forgot to film the recap for this lovely bowl. I did a happy dance for it and I totally forgot. I was going through all of my edits and I was like, I did not do it. Anyways, this, to get that close up as promised. See, again, if it had got a bit hotter, I might have got a little bit more spill or, a few longer drips, just little, but I'm so thrilled with this. You can see the inside. I just love the way this glaze combo is, and that of course is the Sunset Pink and Archie's Base, both by Coyote, and this is the Speckle Buff Clay from Pottery Supply House. What do you think of that color? I don't know, is it just me? I just love it. Anyways, yeah. Perfect fruit salad bowl, eh? It's probably bad to like something so much, right? Anyways. So thanks for tuning in this week's video. I'm Sarah and I appreciate you spending time with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Check out this video, this one, and this one. I think you're going to like these, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so already, I believe it will be this corner or this corner. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Enjoy your day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.